Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Articulate Thoughts, which is a personal blog of mine where I share some thoughts, ideas, observations, and experiences about conscious dance, which is a movement practice that uses dance as a form of moving meditation. And this week's episode, I'll be talking about momentum. And momentum is a concept that comes easily to me through music. I think music is something that naturally uses the force of momentum, and it's very easy to tap into that energy. And it's also kind of like some kind of wordplay going on there because there's moment, so that's kind of like the key word within the word, or like the base word. And it's when I'm listening to music or dancing to music, it very much puts me in the moment. It's a different type of meditation. Like usually, meditation is thought of as being in stillness, sitting down, just being alone with you, alone in your own thoughts, and that's always been a very challenging endeavor for me. And I've been doing a little bit more of it lately, and just doing it in small bursts, and it is very challenging for me. And I feel that dance, conscious dance, is kind of like a segue into that stillness spot. It is a practice where it's much easier to get into the self and be aware of kind of what's happening, but you also use the like leverage of the power of the music to kind of carry on and support you a little bit. And in a situation where a conscious dance in a group, like in a class, you could also leverage the energy of other people as well. Um, you know, Part of the reason why stillness meditation is challenging for me is being alone in my thoughts is a bit of a scary thing because I felt growing up sharing thoughts kind of alienated me because I was a really deep thinker early on, and I would share some things that were in my mind, but like I didn't really have a filter, or I didn't really understand how where people were at and how they would receive certain things. So I would just kind of was very open and very honest with my thoughts, and it kind of scared some people and pushed them away. And I kind of came to a place where I thought like, oh, if I'm honest, I just share openly, then it's gonna repel people. I'm gonna be alone. So instead of sharing my thoughts, I just kept thoughts in my own head, and I kind of alienated myself. I created that alienation within myself, and just kind of had this right wheel going, and I had all these thoughts that really it didn't have an outlet for. And that's kind of a very scary thing, just to be have all these thoughts and be alone in that thought, and then have that momentum go that way in a negative direction. And it led to a very very dark place. And when I was in that dark place, there was a lot of learning and a lot of experimenting, just trying to figure out how to get out of that negative momentum cycle in my own mind. And movement was a really big part of it. In the beginning, it was just walking and listening to music and looking at nature that seemed to have some kind of calming effect, or some kind of key to bringing my mind to a more positive space. And then when I found conscious dance, it was a very interesting thing because um, I didn't like it was conscious dance is a interesting experience in that every individual is having their own experience, but they're also sharing the dance floor, which unites everyone. So even though I may not be directly participating with someone in a dance, I don't feel so alone, because the dance is kind of like a bonding element that kind of brings people together by allowing each individual to like tap into themselves and have their own experience. But because I'm in a room with other people having their own individual experience, I don't feel alone. And that in itself puts me in the moment, and usually that moment is very beautiful. It's very um, just kind of brings together people together in a very special way. And I'm pretty sure most people out there, they've experienced this feeling when they go to a concert, and they share the space with like-minded people that are fans of this band or this musical artist, and they just love the music, and they're coming together to witness a live performance of that music, and everyone's kind of tuned in to that one artist, and there's like a very communal bonding experience through that. And that's how this whole thing started within myself, and recognizing that music has that power to bring people together, and that we can leverage the momentum of each other's energy to bring ourselves to like a higher state where perhaps there's more clarity, or just a realization that maybe certain thought patterns of the future or the past are not as useful when they're chronically thought, and just you know kind of on that rat wheel where there's never really an end to the worry or just projection of possible outcomes, and we're trying to protect ourselves from. But I feel in the conscious dance, if if you can truly let go and sink into the dance and let the music take you, and just kind of go for that journey with everyone else, it's kind of a place of you're not really thinking. My mind is just kind of turned off for a bit, and I'm just really tapped into my body and what the feeling is in my body. My thoughts are focused. How my toes feel, how my elbows feel, how my shoulders feel, and how does my body want to move to this music that's feel like that I'm feeling. That I'm listening to the sound. It's engendering some sort of emotional reaction, and how do I want to use this body skin suit that I've been blessed with to express that feeling. So, and I feel that practice, done on a regular basis, does build momentum over time. And maybe I'm very biased because that's the practice that I choose to participate in on a regular basis. But I think maybe any self-care practice, whether it's walking or lifting, or cooking yourself a meal, or just, I mean, yourself better than anyone else. So I'm pretty sure you're all smart enough to determine what's good for you, and if you just kind of stick to those things, that you can build momentum over time, is being persistent and consistent with effort, that will eventually bring results. And I just found in my life, dance is just kind of interconnected with it because I love doing it, and I'm kind of going on this path where I'm pursuing dance in a different way. So momentum, being in the moment, being on the dance floor, all wonderful, beautiful stuff that I would highly recommend you check out. And if you are interested in checking it out, there is an opportunity tonight. There's going to be a class at the Sunshine United Church at 7 p.m. And the instructor will be Maya, who is a spectacular, well-experienced, gifted instructor that I would highly recommend checking out. And if you need more information, I'll put it in the drop list below. And inshallah, I'll see you on the dance floor.